Good evening, I'm Haley Vilkes.
And I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks for being with us tonight.
Topping our news at this hour, a developing story out of Washington where an announcement is expected over whether President Trump will decide to pull the United States from a global climate deal.
According to a senior White House official, President Trump is leaning towards dropping out of the Paris Climate Accord, an expected decision that has already led to strong reactions from the United Nations and others. The Paris Climate Agreement, established at the 2015 Paris Climate Conference, was ratified by 147 countries. The agreement is aimed at limiting the rise of global temperatures to less than 2 degrees Celsius. Under the plan, countries must also submit emissions assessments every 5 years. The deal also requires countries to establish at least $100 billion in climate-related financing by the year 2020. This morning, the president sent out a stay tuned tweet writing, "I will be announcing my decision on the Paris Accord over the next few days. Make America great again."
Are you leaning toward getting out?
You're going to find out very soon.
If the U.S. pulls out of the agreement, other countries who had previously agreed to participate may follow, although many have reaffirmed their support for the deal today. Only Syria and Nicaragua opposed the agreement. Now, here on the Suncoast, there are real concerns over sea level rise and temperatures getting hotter.
City and county governments have been fighting back against climate change, trying to reduce the carbon footprint. But without state support and now without possible federal support, will those programs continue? ABC 7's Jess Dowdrick joins us live from Bird Key Park in Sarasota with more on that tonight. Jess.
Good evening, Haley and Scott. Long story short, the answer is yes. Sarasota City and county government efforts will continue to go on with or without federal support, but the possible loss of federal funding could create some constraints. A majority of not only Suncoast residents, but Americans at large believe that global warming is happening, according to the Yale Climate Opinion Map. Still, President Donald Trump is expected to go against the majority of Americans and pull out of the Paris Climate Accord.
I think there's a disconnect at the state and maybe now at the federal level in terms of the White House.
It's yet to be seen exactly how successful this global partnership is in terms of stabilizing the effects of climate change. But still, political scientists say pulling out certainly won't help.
It's a constraint and it's a lost opportunity. It won't stop things from happening at various levels of government.
At the county level, Sarasota has been committed to sustainability since 2002 and since has created 10 green buildings and transitioned to plug-in electric vehicles, among dozens of other things.
We have been fortunate to get some federal grants over the years. Over $4 million of federal grants have gone primarily to an energy set of projects.
Not only is President Trump's administration looking to pull out of the Paris Climate Accord, they've proposed slashing funding sources for things related to climate change in the recent budget proposal.
The last of our grants ended last year, so the timing is fine. We won't be at risk of losing those, but we have been able to develop a strong program as a result of those.
Sarasota County's sustainability projects will continue with business as usual. At the city level, Sarasota is also committed to reducing the carbon footprint. They've adopted a climate adaptation plan. While the city has had federal funding and grant opportunities in the past, most funding is done at the local level.
And remember, whatever carbon is put in the air today is going to be in the air for 150 years, and it accumulates. So this challenge is going to get even more difficult in the future.
Efforts to reduce the climate change effects can happen at an even smaller level with you. Sarasota County government has created a list of ways that you can help. You can find a link to that on our website, mysuncoast.com. Live in Sarasota, Jess Dowdrick, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Jess. Hurricane season officially begins tomorrow and runs through November. Following an active 2016 season, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association, or NOAA, says this year could once again be above average. There has already been one named storm in 2017 as Tropical Storm Arlene formed in the North Atlantic in April but did not make landfall. In 2016 marked the first time in more than a decade that Florida was directly hit by a hurricane when Hurricane Hermine came on shore in September. Just more than a month later, Hurricane Matthew came within 50 miles of Florida's east coast before making landfall in South Carolina, proving that large areas of the state can be affected by a storm even without a direct hit.
It will still bring flooding water, which will make transportation and your local roads perhaps unpassable. It will still come with power disruptions. It may come with communication disruptions. It's going to impact your life.
The community is advised to always double-check insurance policies at this time of year to make sure you are covered. Flood claims are not covered under a normal homeowners or renters insurance policy, and a flood insurance policy takes 30 days to kick in. And ABC 7 wants to make sure you have all of the information you need to fully prepare for the hurricane season. Tomorrow night, we will be bringing you an hour-long special, Surviving a Hurricane. Our weather team will go over everything you need to know: evacuation zones, routes, shelter information, what you need to have in your supply kit, and much more. You can also call us during that program. Experts will be here to answer your storm-related questions. That is tomorrow night at 7 o'clock right here on ABC 7.
Looking forward to that.
Yep.
Tomorrow night. Let's get a check, though, on our weather right now with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Hi, Bob.
Hi, I really like that phone bank, too, because you can ask the questions to the experts and they'll answer to you straight up right there. And then we'll kind of relay those questions on air so that anyone else who is having those same questions can get their answers answered, actually their questions answered right there live on the air. Not as many storms expected earlier this year. That was the story as far as hurricanes go. That was the case because they thought El Nino was going to develop and knock the storms down. And also the Atlantic was a little bit cooler than average in the month of February and April, which usually means less activity. But now it's warmed up, especially in the area that most of the hurricanes develop in. On top of that, it appears that El Nino is not going to form. And if it does, it'll be a very weak one at that, so it should not be a limiting factor. And the NOAA is predicting 11 to 17 named storms. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. Right now, the good news is that we're starting to get into that summer pattern already. Showers and storms have been heavy today throughout parts of Hardee and DeSoto counties, dumping up to 2 to 3 inches of rainfall. And then the outflow boundary from these storms starting to generate and work its way toward the west coast. So I would not be surprised to see some more showers developing here a little closer to I-75. And it looks like this pattern is going to persist for a while now as we take a look at the extended forecast in just a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. The state of Florida has been in a holding pattern, but now it's decision time for Governor Rick Scott. Today, the Florida legislature formally delivered the proposed state budget to Governor Scott. He now has 15 days to sign or veto the bill. He could also just veto individual spending items in the budget. For weeks now, Governor Scott has hinted he could veto the entire $82.4 billion spending plan. He has criticized legislators because they rejected his main priorities and have recommended slashing money for tourism marketing.
There's a saying, success leaves clues, and the Suncoast may learn from a concept started in Orlando to help the homeless. Sarasota native and former NFL star Tim Johnson is at the center of a massive initiative in Central Florida. Today, Pastor Johnson talked to a receptive Suncoast audience about an annual event in Orlando that offers dozens of services to thousands of homeless people in one single event.
We had 120 organizations, government, nonprofit, service providers, faith community actually come together at the Camping World Stadium in Orlando and serve thousands of individuals in need.
I am excited with the legal community getting involved with regard to restoration of driver's licenses and removing barriers to employment, with individual companies saying that I will give an exemption to people who come through your organization that have criminal barriers. I'll give them jobs. That's the partnership that's necessary. So I'm all in.
Among the services that Pastor Johnson says would be offered: food, showers, haircuts, medical screenings, legal information, and a job fair. But not everyone is on board with this concept. The Orlando Area United Way reportedly chose not to participate, saying, quote, the money could be used for better things like housing.
Sarasota County is making sure Suncoast Beach is ready for summer crowds. Renovations at Turtle Beach on Siesta Key are now complete. The new additions include redesigned playgrounds, kayak landings, a parking lot with 35 additional spaces, covered picnic areas, and new sidewalks. The project actually came in under budget. That new playground, by the way, can accommodate up to 40 children at a time. County officials at today's renovation celebration say the nearly $640,000 in new features will be enjoyed by locals and visitors alike.
One of the great things is that our commission invests in infrastructure and in those facilities that we have here in Sarasota County to really make it the best place to live, work, and play.
Siesta Key Beach was recently named the #1 beach in America, and with today's reveal, Sarasota County Parks and Recreation officials say it's been a Pretty good couple of weeks for area beaches.
Another retailer is announcing it will be closing stores, and this one is a very well-known name on the Suncoast. Michael Kors is announcing it will close 100 to 125 of its full-price stores globally over the next 2 years. In its most recent earnings report, the brand disclosed that its fourth quarter revenue in 2016 had decreased by 11.2%. The company has not yet said which stores will be closing. There are 2 Michael Kors locations on the Suncoast, one in Sarasota at the University Town Center Mall and one at the Ellenton Premium Outlets. Retail is really struggling.
Still to come in your Suncoast News, NASA announces its first mission to a dangerous part of our solar system.
And ABC 7 Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your full weather forecast. Plus, having a hard time getting to sleep? Well, exercise can help. How much of a workout it will take to catch some Z's.
At 4 on Suncoast View. It's never too late to learn a new skill. I'm Stephanie Roberts. On Suncoast View, we will introduce you to a local woman who is in her 60s and took up the tango, and now she is on her way to Brazil to compete. Are you nice to your coworkers? Goodwill Industries takes their kindness initiative the office. Plus, we learn how to do the life-saving Heimlich maneuver, and JR's Packing House Cafe is in the kitchen. Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our Finish Upgrade event, save up to 20% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
Since 2014, Addiction Hope and Helpline has answered calls for recovery and treatment 24/7, 365 days a year. If you're depressed, drinking, using drugs, or taking pills, call now and talk to someone who cares.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Most insurance covers substance abuse. You can get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call 800-622-1941. 800-622-1941.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our Finish Upgrade event, save up to 20% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
NASA is set to announce the first mission to fly directly into the sun's atmosphere. It's an attempt that will pit the spacecraft against heat and radiation unlike any man-made craft in history. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez has more on this daring mission.
It's a mission of extremes.
It may seem like the trailer for a sci-fi blockbuster.
Humanity's first mission to touch the sun.
But there is nothing fictional about this, NASA's newly unveiled plan to enter the sun's atmosphere.
Solar Probe is going to be the hottest, fastest,
mission.
The Parker Solar Probe, named after and honoring researcher Dr. Eugene Parker,
Hooray for Solar Probe.
will launch from Florida in the summer of 2018, at its fastest, traveling at about 430,000 miles an hour.
That's like traveling from New York to Tokyo in less than a minute.
The unmanned probe will get about 7 times closer to the sun than any spacecraft in history, reaching the outer atmosphere called the corona to study why it is even hotter than the surface of the sun, collecting data to give scientists a better understanding of how stars work and to help predict major space weather events that impact technology and satellites.
Until you actually go there and touch the sun, you really can't answer these questions.
And they are questions NASA scientists have been trying to answer for about 60 years, but materials that could withstand the extreme temperatures and radiation didn't exist until now. Testing is still underway ahead of next year's launch. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Los Angeles.
I don't know how you recreate
wow.
that heat from the sun. but
Pretty fascinating, you
Very
know. And top of that, you know, they mentioned space weather. That's becoming a real big deal lately. And on top of that, the new satellite that was just launched, the GOES 16, they have a solar imager, basically. It's turned its camera toward the sun specifically and only toward the sun. So that's going to be sending back ultraviolet information about the sun and what's going on there with solar spots. So it's really quite fascinating how it's going to help figure out what's going on in the space weather as well as we start to travel through space, right?
Who knows where we might go?
Be a space weatherman. I've heard that before. Weather satellite actually information showing us clear skies too overhead for the most part near the coast, but not much going on right near the coast in terms of rain. Most of it is inland, and that activity inland is really quite intense. So the summer pattern starting to take shape a little bit here, and boy, you can really see it in the 7-day forecast. What's going on is an increased moisture availability. On top of that, heating of the day, the sun's angle a little bit more direct overhead, and that is allowing for temperatures to soar. And on top of that, you have a little lift with the convergence of the west coast sea breeze. Indeed, it's all setting up. We have this high pressure also off the east coast of Florida, which is providing us with that east to southeasterly wind flow. And when the two meet, they really start to explode as far as storms go. And the rainfall rate in some of these cells, specifically the one near Arcadia and the one just to the southeast of Wauchula, we're talking over nearly 2.5 inches an hour. The rain is coming down at that rate, and that's a torrential downpour with lots of lightning occurring too with that cell right there near Arcadia and to the southeast. There's a lot more on the way too, and there's a lot of energy in the atmosphere that's going to actually weaken somewhat our surface high pressure ridge, which means increased instability, which will allow for more showers and storms to develop each and every afternoon and continue on through the evening. So the forecast is looking fairly wet for the next several days across the Sun Coast. To Sarasota right now, 88 degrees currently at the airport, and the dew point is 72. Winds are out of the west at 10. The pressure 30.03 inches, and that is holding steady for the most part. The wind flow is not all that strong, so the sea breeze that does develop tomorrow afternoon won't be that far inland. So the storms will get a little closer to the coast too. So I expect to see a little bit more action of showers and storms developing along the coast on Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening, and then again on Friday. Forecast looks like this will start off with sunshine and looks like things looking pretty good throughout most of the day. And then clouds will start to increase. Well, it'll be a chance for a few coastal showers once the sea breeze starts to develop. And then the main focus will be inland throughout the late afternoon. And as we get into the early evening, some of those showers will work their way back toward the coast in the late afternoon and early evening. Now, as far as the rest of the U.S. is concerned, a big trough of low pressure digging across the Great Lakes right now through Chicago and into Ohio. As far as the forecast goes, you can see those storms around tonight kind of pushing back toward the coast. A little bit of activity tomorrow. More showers and storms developing. Some of those could be strong. Get a look at the hour here, 8:30. We still see the rain developing and pushing back toward the west coast of Florida. So, yes, indeed, the rain chances are going to be at least 50% or better at times over the weekend as a result of that increased moisture supply. Temperatures pretty nice in Minneapolis, 74, 73 now in Chicago. It's 78 degrees in the nation's capital, 100 though in Phoenix, Salt Lake City at 92. Well, the extended forecast looks like this. We are looking for 50-50 chance of showers and storms tomorrow, most of that inland, but I mentioned a better chance to see a few coastal storms, and there will be some lightning with these cells, a lot of that, and that's going to be a big issue over the upcoming months. And if you were to look at this and just say, okay, this looks like a summer 7-day forecast, and it certainly is. Showers and storms each and every afternoon right through Wednesday, no real break, and temperatures just a couple degrees cooler due to the fact that we will see more cloud coverage in the afternoon. For boaters, looks to be good out there. Just look out for those afternoon and evening thunderstorms. We'll have much more a little bit later. Scott?
All right, Bob, thank you. In Suncoast Traffic Watch, no major crashes in the area right now, but we're seeing some congestion both heading north and south along US 41 in Sarasota. This is from Bee Ridge Road, just past Fruitville Road to the north. Haley?
Thank you, Scott. In health news tonight, missing out on sleep may cause parts of our brains to start eating other parts. That's according to a new study in the Journal of Neuroscience. The study revolves around two types of glial cells. Astrocytes get rid of worn out and unnecessary synapses, while microglial cells do the same to damaged cells and debris in the brain. Both types of glial cells are active during sleep and play an important role in repairing the brain at the end of the day. In the study, they stepped up their activity in the brains of chronically sleep-deprived mice. It's unclear if the same thing happens in the brains of humans or if catching up on sleep can reverse that. Increased microglial activity has been linked to Alzheimer's in the past. If you need to catch up on sleep, you may want to toss out the sleeping pills and try exercise instead. In a study by Rush University, older women suffering from insomnia said that their sleep improved from poor to good when they exercised. They had more energy and they were less depressed. In another study, exercise alone led to a 25% reduction in sleep apnea symptoms over a 12-week period. So how much do you need? 2.5 hours a week of moderate intensity aerobic exercise along with strength training. Scientists have re-engineered a decades-old antibiotic to help fight drug-resistant superbugs. A modified version of the antibiotic vancomycin is believed to have a 1,000 increase in activity, so doctors could use less of it to fight infections. Even though the drug is already an antibiotic of last resort, some infections have become resistant to it. Antibiotic resistance is rising to dangerously high levels around the world. The improved drug was developed by the Scripps Research Institute in San Diego. A standoff between a seemingly armed man and law enforcement sends travelers into chaos at Orlando International Airport. Why police believe what may have instigated this situation. And a fun trip turned into a nightmare. How rescuers were alerted to an injured hiker after she fell dozens of feet.
Hi, I'm Joan London with A Place for Mom. Over the years, we've helped thousands of families find senior care, and today's senior living communities have never been better. With amazing amenities like movie theaters, exercise rooms and swimming pools, public cafes, bars and bistros, even pet care services. And nobody understands your options like the advisors at A Place for Mom. These are local expert advisors that will partner with you to find the perfect place and determine the right level of care, whether that's just a helping hand or full-time memory care. Best of all, it's a free service. Call today. A Place for Mom. You know your family, we know senior living. Together, we'll make the right choice.
Call A Place for Mom right now to get our free ebook on financing senior care, as well as a free referral for senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-290-0352. That's 1-800-290-0352.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
What Florida city is best known for spaceflight?
Cape Carnival.
Cape Carnival? Close enough. What condiment includes vinegar, molasses, and anchovies?
Westchester sauce?
Close enough. And now, a word from our sponsors.
One-off from the Florida Lottery. Now available for pick 2, 3, 4, and 5 games. Miss by one on any or all numbers and still win.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me.
Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
I'm calling in regards about my mother, and I'm here, and I just want to thank you because it saved my mother's life yesterday, and I'd like to know the names of the people that came in and saved her. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you.
With Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-990-3613. That's 1-800-990-3613. Call now, 1-800-990-3613.
A former Marine is in custody and being held for mental evaluation after a nearly 3-hour standoff with police at the Orlando International Airport. Authorities say Michael Pettigrew was in mental distress and was armed with a fake gun when police surrounded him at the rental car area of the airport last night. Police say he was attempting a suicide by cop, but Orlando's police chief says negotiators eventually got him to surrender.
He is former military, and so at this point, he's been committed under the Baker Act for a mental evaluation. There are pending charges on him of aggravated assault with a firearm. We did recover a weapon. It was a simulated firearm. The gun was not real.
No one was hurt, no shots were ever fired, but the standoff caused confusion and anxiety among travelers. A section of the airport was evacuated as hundreds of officers stormed the area, some with their guns drawn. Now to a dramatic rescue in California after a couple and their dog's fun day of rock climbing near Lake Tahoe took an unexpected turn. The two were helping get their dog up onto a ledge when the dog started sliding. While the woman was helping the dog, she lost her balance and tumbled 30 feet down steep rocks, injuring herself. The man called 911 for help. Fortunately, rescuers were able to get to the woman by helicopter and fly her to the hospital. The man and the dog were able to hike out on their own.
The capital of Ukraine is cleaning up and making repairs after an underground water pipe burst, exploding through the asphalt of a parking lot and spewing sludge. The explosion shook the ground and damaged several cars and windows. No one was hurt. The cause of the explosion is unclear. However, pressure tests are being conducted. Someone now owns a rare diamond-encrusted handbag. This crocodile diamond Birkin handbag from Hermes sold today at auction for $377,000. That is a record for handbags. It has 18-karat white gold and diamond hardware. Only 1 or 2 of these bags are made each year, and there is a 6-year waiting list to buy a new one. The bag was purchased by an unidentified buyer after 15 minutes of intense bidding. The Birkin bag, it's iconic, and this one even more so.
Wow.
That's crazy. And then do you carry that around?
That's what I was thinking too.
Do you put it in?
Do you flaunt it and then, I don't know.
Because then, you know, handbags get really damaged if you, I'm sure those are made really, really well, but still over time. So maybe you have to like display it in your house. I don't know.
Put some lights on it.
Yeah, shine it. Well, still to come on your Suncoast News, dozens killed and hundreds injured.
New video of the deadliest attack in the Afghan capital in years after a massive truck bomb exploded there.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our Finish Upgrade event, save up to 20% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
My name is Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
We answered the call of duty and left our homes to serve in far-off lands. Now we answer another call, this time at home, in our own communities, to respond in times of chaos. To use our strength, our skills, and our experiences to bring hope amid devastation and destruction. Together, as a team of brothers and sisters, we're continuing our mission to make this country a little stronger and a little better each day. We are Team Rubicon.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our Finish Upgrade event, save up to 20% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.